Hey everybody, I just wanted to make this video, I would say quickly, but it's not going to be quick. There was a comment I received in my video about data live, so I want to address that. And um, the only way I can address that is through this video, because if I were to give you a honest response of what I was actually thinking in my mind, it would three it would probably be like 3 pages long. Don't want to do that. I want to type it, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to read it. So what I'm asking for is 20 minutes of your life to respond back to this. So if you want to read that, or if you want to watch this, feel free. If not, that's what it's going to be about. And on screen, as you see right now, is your comments. I broke it up into 3 parts, and I'll address each as I go along. So basically, the gist of the first section is, on release day, data live, $200, $300. That proves the point that this is an unstable market for, right, like Terrible Spirit Kurumi, double rare, 50 to 60 on release, where double rare Aqua from Konosuba's second set is 75 to 80 right now, but for a while there it was 15 to $20 over a whole year after release. I think this is a player Weiss mindset that needs to change. Um, you have this price history in your mind, or um, how things worked before, and you can obviously tell that's not going to work in this brand new age. Like, you could even write that right there at the bottom where you say, I reiterate, scalpers are ruining every card game right now, and they're rampant. So as you can find out, demand is going up in Weiss in general. But if you watch my checklist video, you could tell based on all the different points that I hit on, Data Live is going to be a huge set. I was personally, because I did this on Facebook, helping people find stores that had inventory left all the way up through mid-January, I believe. There were play sets still being sold on Facebook at the end, like literally February 28th for $350. So, in Weiss, we have this belief that play sets, cards will be there at release. They'll be there a month after release. They might even be there 2 months after release. But it's always been consistent. So you have this mindset that product will always be there waiting for you. And, in this scenario, it wasn't, because we saw booster boxes disappearing by the end of January. And again, playsets disappeared like towards the beginning of March. And that should have been the sign to anybody that this thing was always going to go to 200 to 300, because there wasn't anything left to give. The people that had product either were going to open it, or they were going to hold it forever or sell it. And we are beginning to see that play out right now. You even have real stores actually sell these boxes for 180, 200. I even saw one up there in 300 land, right? Like real stores. So if you're going to say scalpers and all that, it's not just people, right? It's stores. And when I say scalpers and stores, I don't actually mean it that way. I actually believe that the store has every right to sell it for whatever they want to, or people have every right that they want to sell it for. Again, it comes down to the people to say, I'm willing to buy it for this, or I'm not willing to buy it for this, and then I move on. I don't think attacking people in message boards or in Facebook is where we want our community to be going, right? Like, these people bought the box. It was available for anybody. This isn't a Pokemon. People weren't standing there in a store or sports card. They weren't standing in a store fighting each other for this stuff, right? You could have easily gone out in January or in December and found these boxes for $65, $68, right? You could have bought these, but for whatever reason, again, you have this belief that product should just be sitting there for you. And if we've seen anything with all these other games, that's not going to be a thing. Your next point about data live, we could stabilize this, just shove out a second print run, right? Bushy Road Japan does it all the time. And, you know what? If they do this, they're gonna be, you know, printing out money. All right, there's money just raining down on me. So, what I want to do to actually answer this point, this may seem weird, but as you said, scalpers are ruining every card game. So I need to go and talk about other card games. I know people don't like that. I don't really get why. I mean, you know, again, with history, with hindsight, we're actually able to see trends and map it out. Yeah, there might be different games, but like you said, if it's every card game, then we should be able to explore a different card game, see what's happening there, and then make some observations onto what's happening here. So, what I'm about to do is I'm going to pull out some product, and this is in no way to make it seem like I'm arrogant, that I got this stuff. Nothing like that at all. This is just really trying to address your second point. So, what I got down here to my left is a bunch of boxes that you can't see until now. This would be Magic the Gathering. So we got ourselves Guilds of Ravnica, and this is Ravnica Allegiance. We also got ourselves my nail just scraped the plastic. Oh no. We got ourselves Throne of Eldraine. We also got ourselves War of the Spark. And those are your standard draft booster boxes. But, you know, Magic, they love their money. So, where are my boxes? Here they are. They love their boxes. My wife came home, saw these boxes over there, like, what are you doing? We got ourselves collector boxes. So, you want some Zendikar? You want yourself some Core 2021? You want yourself some Ikoria? There you go, collectors. If that's not good enough for you, you know, if you want more, then you know what? I will offer you some Christmas gift edition bundle. You want some of that? Zendikar? There you go. Here you go. If you're still not satisfied, we got yourself some reprints. Here you go. Double Master reprints. Right, there you are. If that's not good enough for you, we got some ETBs. We got some Pokemon for you. We got some Charizard. We got yourself some Shining Fates. You can't forget about Pikachu, right? Here's some Pikachu. And if you want something more recent, we got yourself some Battle Styles, right? Oh, there we go. So, the reason for that display is if I was selling Magic the Gathering, if I was the company, right? Like, ooh, I'm one of those big companies. If I sell 100,000 of those Ravnica boxes, I can pretty much guarantee I'm going to sell 100,000 of the Throne of Eldraine or War of the Spark. If I sold 100,000 Champion's Path, with Pokemon, it's like I probably can guarantee I'm going to sell 200,000 Shining Fates, or 200,000 those Pikachu boxes. But what I'm really trying to say is, consistently you're going to sell 100,000 of these things, right? Not a freaking problem. You're going to sell it every time. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some Weiss product, and I wish I could see you in a room. And do you remember when you're sitting in a room and they go, everybody stand up, and they ask you questions, and as the questions go along, you sit down when it doesn't apply to you? So same thing here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some Weiss product that came out within the last couple months, and I want you to, in your mind, either raise your hand or stand up, sit down, and tell me which products you actually bought. We got ourselves some Tomb of Nazarick. Wait. Tomb of Nazarick, Tomb of the Undead. It'd be nicer if they called it Overlord. I know there was probably issues with that, so. Nazarick. We got ourselves Konosuba. We got ourselves some Adventure Time. How about some Mob Psycho? You like Mob Psycho? I hate Mob Psycho, but here's some Mob Psycho. Fate Grand Order. Everybody loves Mosh, right? Fake Grand Order. And finally, we have some Madoka. I left Frozen Bonds upstairs, but we got some Madoka. Okay, what was the whole point of me showing that and going through that whole display there? Really, what I wanted to say is we do not have, and that's the whole point of the title. The whole point of the title wasn't to make you angry, but to get to this point that I was leading up to. We have a player problem. It's not a supply problem. I mean, you could say that about Data Live, but the real underlying issue on all this is we have a player problem. Because again, consistently, I can say 100,000 of the Magic the Gathering and Pokemon will sell. And the number is crazy. It's more than 100,000, but just follow with me. If I were to ask you again, how many of these that you bought, the majority of the people out there would say, yeah, I might have picked up some Konosuba. I might have got that Fate Grand Order, but I skipped out on Mob Psycho or Adventure Time or Nazarick or whatever else, right? Like it doesn't matter. You're not going to consistently get people to actually say, I bought everything. I bought everything. Again, because my original video, Weiss Schwarz is a niche and a niche and a niche. Where Magic the Gathering, people are going to buy that set every time. It's just Magic cards. They're going to play it. They're going to keep going. With Pokemon, it's just Pokemon. There's more Pokemon in there. With Weiss Schwarz, there's an anime, and you're either going to like it or you're going to hate it, or there's some underlying reason you're not going to buy it. I actually sat there one day and I thought this through. And I was like, how come there are so many freaking sets that come out? Because everybody always tells me, like, Magic the Gathering, they pump out so much product. And that was the point of why I showed you collector boxes, reprint, gift edition, draft boxes. The whole reason I did that was just to prove that they have so much product. And people always complain about wallet fatigue, but I'm like, wouldn't that be the same for Weiss Schwarz? Like, if you want a play set of these things, you need to open like 4 boxes, right? Not 4 boxes. Sorry, I take that back. You need to open 6 to 8 boxes. That's a ton of money, and that's every month. But the real trick here is not everybody buys every set, so you're not spending that much every month. You're spending that every 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, something like that. So trying to estimate demand is a pain in the butt. Again, so let me just go back to Nazarick. If you really need to do this, you need to put yourself in the shoe of the Bushy Road and your LGS or whoever you buy from. These people need to stick their neck out and try to decide on when or how much they're going to buy, right? So if you were new to Weiss Schwarz and you said, I'm going to buy Nazarick, I'm going to buy 3 cases of this stuff. And then you come to find out your people only buy like 1 case, 2 cases. You're stuck. You're stuck for what, a couple months, a year holding this thing. That's money that you could be using to buy more product. And this is like a restaurant where you're trying to flip tables. You're trying to flip product. You don't want to be sitting there on inventory unless you're a long-term holder store that you have all the money in the world and you can just store it in the back. But I doubt most LGSs are like that, right? You bought Konosuba next. That did fairly well. You sold the majority of it. I don't think you sold it all, but you sold the majority of it. So you're feeling good. Then you get to Adventure Time. You're like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to slam another 3 cases. I'm going to do that to Mob Psycho. I'm going to do that to Fate Grand Order. And then you start seeing where people aren't buying the 3 cases, right? So then you have to drop your purchases down. You're gonna let me try out 2 cases, see how that goes. And then you run into Madoka. How did that go for you? Did that go okay? Frozen Bond should have done fairly well, but Madoka not so much. So I would imagine, again, the hard part about figuring out how much to print is what you all like. That's a huge problem. So this time around, Data Live got printed and it sold out. If I was an LGS, I'd be thrilled out of my mind that, you know what, I sold all my stuff. Yeah, I didn't make as much as I wanted to. Like if I would have had, hey, if I would have ordered another case, it's that whole regret. But you know what? In the end, you got the profit. You don't have to sit on it. You're not sitting on Mob Psycho boxes, or you're not sitting on Tomb of the Undead. You're not sitting on those boxes, right? Then you're saying, let's do a reprint. Okay, let's just go through the scenario. Um, Bushy Road's sitting there, and we are not privy to the contract, right? We don't know what that licensing says. I don't know. I don't know if many people do know, but really, we know there's a cost associated with that, if they're even allowed to do that. There is overhead, so if I try to contact a printer, how much would that actually cost to, just switch out the printer, put the whatever printing sheets in, or and to get them all cut up and to distribute it. Couple that with the unknown demand. How many are you going to print? You're not going to print the same sizing for as you did with the first print, right? That normally doesn't happen that way. Normally, you print a lesser percent. Knowing that Weiss Schwarz doesn't sell as much compared to the other people, that makes it sound like to me, if you were to reprint, that it's going to cost you more because the overhead fees aren't going to change. You have less people buying it, but you still have the same shipping and all that. It's going to your break even is going to be a lot, a bit more, so it's going to cost people some money. And again, your LGS has to step in and be like, okay, how much am I supposed to buy? How much do I want? How much is my demand? Can I really sell it? If they go, I'm going to buy 10 cases instead of that 3, are they willing to sit on it if it doesn't pan out, right? Because again, if you watch 3-6 Cancels, if you see his video about the supply issues, in there he someone says that, some people didn't want to buy Data Live. There's going to be people, as I've just shown you with all these different sets, that are never going to buy Data Live. They're never going to buy Adventure Time or Mob Psycho. Just not going to happen. So again, if I'm going to do a reprint, the demand is unknown. It's not like Pokemon where these people are just going to gobble up an infinite amount of this stuff. So the LGS, they made that money. Bushy Road made that money. Are they going to stick their neck out and reprint and then possibly be stuck with product? I don't know about that. Even then, let's just say they do a reprint. And again, I am not here advocating not to do it. I think the more product out there, the more players that actually have the cards, awesome. Or collectors, awesome. Feel free. Because again, when a collector opens boxes, they will sell the other singles that they don't need, right? They might be aiming just for signature cards, but they're going to put those singles out there and it's going to drop the price. It's better for the players. More people open more product, the better. So what I would honestly say is the problem, it's not Bushy Road. Bushy Road doesn't have a supply problem. You know what? That first print run, if they could have printed 20% more and be guaranteed that it would actually sell, they would do it. They have no reason not to, right? The real reason is the player base. It's the player's fault. Let's just say what it is. I know we don't want to hear that, but it's true, right? Again, so back to my example, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, they're able to consistently say, I'm going to print this much, and it's going to go out there. And if we need the reprint, awesome, we're going to do it. We're going to sell. But with Bushy Road, you can't just do that because we have no freaking clue. You guys are an enigma. Right? It's not really that. We know that you like your a certain anime, and that's how it's going to be, and that's why there's 12 different sets. 12, right? 12 different sets a year that go out to the people because we didn't extract all the money we could of you. We had to put out anime sets that's going to absorb your money that you're holding on tightly to. And so truly, this leads me into point number 3. You reiterate, scalpers are ruining every card game right now, and they're rampant. Um, so for months now, and again, I've been reading it. People, I don't know if they choose to ignore it or just think it's like some crazy nut job, but there have been people buying up SPs. There have been people buying up mats, promos. There's been people buying bulk. First time I've ever seen that, right? Like, I think that's cool. I would buy bulk. That would be pretty neat to see different stuff. But there is an increased interest in Weiss Schwarz, maybe organically through player growth because people see they're at home watching more anime and they see an anime that they like. Um, but for whatever reason, there are obviously that increased interest is drawing in other people that see an opportunity to invest. So again, that would be, your scalpers. I hate that term. I don't like it. But there's people that are joining the game. And you know what? To me, I think that's okay. I think any way to get people interested into the game or at least get the word out there that this game exists is a good thing because there's people definitely that didn't know Weiss is a thing. And then, again, if they look through the list of different anime, maybe that would get them interested. Because again, truly, if you grow the player base and this player base starts buying more, that means Bushy Road LGSs can Bushy Road can print more, LGSs can buy more and sell more, right? And in the end, that increases the base amount of how much product is actually produced, which is in the end a very, very good thing, giving more confidence to LGS to actually buy more. But unless, again, you, me, and everybody else in my imaginary room that can hear my voice, we all form like some kind of pact and we go, we're going to buy a reset. I do that now. And again, I really just like Weiss Schwarz. I like seeing it. I think it's one of those ones where I've always told myself if this game ever collapses, this gives me even more reason to play all these different anime. Even the anime I don't like, I'll play Mob Psycho, whatever. Because I think anime, this game is amazing because it captures a moment of time that I have so much joy when I watch certain anime, right? Like right now I'm doing Quince. This is actually something that I was playing with. I want to show you. So I've been having so much fun, like watching an anime, and now going through it twice. I know some people watch anime once, some people watch it twice. I watch it twice, but the reason why I'm watching it twice is because of this. I think, if you have not watched Quince or you don't want to know what happens at the end of season 2, you might not look at the screen. This, one day, when the Quince season 2 comes out, I hope becomes a climax card. So don't look now. There we are. I think that would be such an amazing climax card. All right, I pulled it away if you stop looking. I've been having so much fun just imagining like what cards actually would show up in a Weiss Schwarz set. You know all those times where people say, "Man, I really wish that anime would be a Weiss Schwarz." I'm just doing that thing now where I'm just like I'm literally imagining. I'm capturing moments in there, and it's just a very fun time for me. And again, that's what these cards are for me. Like in a sense, it's a moment that I've had time watching, and it's captured in card form, and then I get to play with. So, anyways, so my point here again with all this, just to recap everything, you know what? It sucked. It sucked the data live release, but it was always going to happen that way. If you followed my checklist, that checklist basically told you with everything you would have saw coming up into this that it was going to release at $200, $300 a box. That was always going to happen. The demand was there. The market was basically sold out at that point. And you need to, as demand increases and the amount printed doesn't, you need to adjust your thoughts. Maybe you're going to have to hit those pre-orders. You can't just expect product to be there on release day. When it comes to reprints, again, I'm not opposed to it. Feel free if they can work it out. but I don't want to see an LGS take a loss after they made a profit just because the people want a reprint and the demand is unknown. I don't want to see Bushy Road take a loss, again, because do you remember the whole lack of signatures? People were saying that, Bushy Road can't afford it. So if you're really saying that, if they do this reprint and it goes horribly wrong for them, um, that's only going to hurt them. That's only going to hurt their bottom line. And if you honestly believe they didn't have money to get signatures, taking a loss on something that losing some money on something that you had a profit on, not a good thing. I wouldn't want to explain that to my boss. And finally, scalpers, I'm just going to say people that resell. Um, for Weiss Schwarz, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. We need more interest in the game. We need more players. If it takes a bunch of people hyping up a new set and trying to sell it for more, again, you don't have to buy it. Just buy a different set. And that's hard to hear. If I was a person without Data Live, I probably would have bought the higher price because I love Data Live. I play the mobile game, the Spirit Pledge. I play, I have Fujimi upstairs, like in a binder, to make my collection. I have a collection of Fujimi, just the Data Live cards, right? So it's hard to hear when you can't get something, but I think it's important to adjust our thinking and not just blame, certain people or just try to find an easy fix for this. Because again, a reprint, if it were to happen, you're going to see it, in late May to June at the very best. So there's no way that even then, a week from now, you're going to have reprints show up and, market just changes back to normal. This isn't going to happen with any of the other sets coming up. Madoka, it's not going to happen with Pofree or Kaguya, so this should be a one-time deal. And again, I will say one last thing. If scalpers want to buy up all the Batman Ninja, by all means do that. You're only helping out like LGSs or people trying to struggle to get rid of that. Feel free, right? I mean, I don't know if they fully grasp the whole niche of what Weiss really is. So they can have the last boxes on Earth for Batman Ninja. It doesn't mean there's going to be a person out there that wants to buy it. So again, I know this is really long. I hope this explains it to you. I wanted to give you a thorough response. Again, if you have anything that you want to respond back with, feel free. But thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you.